It is my honor to welcome Christel du Toit, who is Managing Director of Finsmart Asset Management, which is an advice practice centered around divorce financial planning. She's also published a book called Divorce Smart, A Girl's Guide to Divorcing Well, and this comes after 10 years worth of working experience in the industry as well. More importantly, she's a mom of 2 man-children, as she affectionately calls her children. And my name is Luthando Mzilikazi, and I'm a sales manager at 91. As part of the Women in Investing initiative, we've invited Christel to talk to us about divorce, women, and money. Thanks for joining us, Christel.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So divorce is quite a taboo topic to actually talk about, even though divorce rates are on the rise. I'm very interested to hear your take on why you decided to proactively focus your advice process around divorcing women.
So when I got divorced 15 years ago, I never expected that to happen to me. And what I found was during this process, I could get lots of help. I could get help from my family, my sister, my friends. I could get professional help from a psychologist, a pastor, but I couldn't find anybody to help me, guide me with financial decisions during the divorce process. I couldn't even find a financial advisor that could help me with those delicate intricacies of understanding what are the decisions that I'm busy making. Because you'll know that divorce is your most expensive financial decision you'll ever make in your life. So I saw the gap in the market, and then I thought, I'm the person. I got divorced specifically for this, to help women go through this process, and purely to help them to make financial decisions and being smart about it.
Talking about being smart about divorce, Divorce Smart, the book, has helped me so much in preparation for my own divorce 2 years ago. And I think I've read the book probably 3 times from start to finish, because it was just in plain language and so insightful. One of the key takeouts that I experienced with the book while engaging with it was the 4 quadrants. Please share with us about the 4 quadrants.
Yes, so the book is designed to help you make smart financial decisions during divorce. So I've basically, it's giving you a framework while you're going through this process so that you can make smart decisions. So there's basically 4 quadrants, and it's got to do with finances, legal, children, and emotions. And I specifically put it on a Y and an X axis so that you can see children and emotions are on the left-hand side. And we as women do pretty good in those areas. Yeah. We get an A for it. And on the right-hand side, you've got the legal quadrant and the financial quadrant. And you've got to understand that it's a big financial decision. So men do far better at that because they treat it like business. So the book is there to help you to make a decision when you're in the right quadrant. So if you're going to be talking or negotiating maintenance, you've got to understand that, yes, it's your children and you love them, but they cost money. So it actually becomes a decision where you're almost making a financial decision for your children on their behalf, because you need to feed them, you need to clothe them, and they cost money. So really the book is there when you're in this grey period of your life to just guide you to make the right decisions. And if you get those decisions right, your divorce is actually much easier, and it's far easier to rebuild your financial life and your real life after that.
I mean, taking a lot from what you've just said is basically the quadrants help you remove the emotion from all the other decisions that you need to make. So let's zoom into the finances quadrant for a little bit. What are some of the mistakes you've seen women make? Maybe it's women you've dealt with in your practice, or because I think you are much older than me, you've got a few women who've gone through their own divorce processes in your friendship circles. What are some of the mistakes they've made in their divorce processes, particularly focusing on quadrant finances?
So a lot of women that walk into my office are emotional, and that's pretty normal. So some of them go towards the anger side, where they actually make it their mission to make their ex pay for the rest of his life. Or you get the other extreme, where you are so tired and you're so exhausted that you actually just want to remove yourself from the situation. So you'd sign any settlement agreement just to get away from it, and you think you're going to do this all by yourself and you don't need his money. And clearly that's emotional decisions. So don't do that. Rather, get financial advice. So the other mistake that I always see is budget. So when I ask somebody, well, what is your budget? And there's only 10 items on it, then I know they don't know how to manage money. And I understand that because you've never been financially empowered, especially if you've been the stay-at-home mom. So there's two budgets that are important when you go through. There's a pre-divorce budget where you actually try and work out what rehabilitative maintenance you're entitled to, and maintenance for your children. And then there's a budget that you use after you're divorced, where you basically use that to rebuild your financial life. And if your financials are okay, the rest of your life will also be okay. Yeah. It will fall into place. So that's quite important. Then another mistake that people make is they don't get financial advice. So if you do look at the maintenance calculations, see it as an annuity income, and that's something where you need to adjust and make arrangements so that it keeps up with inflation, because there's a base cost and then there's things that become more expensive. You can just look at your electricity bill. And then the other thing, if you, for example, are going to claim pension benefit from your ex-spouse, that is a huge financial decision. So get financial advice, because there's tax implications, there's fees, there's products, there's your future retirement that you have to look at. So I always say, get financial advice and partner with somebody that's going to start this new financial life with you for the next 20 or 10 years or 30 years, depending on your age. And then just lastly, if you do look at the calculation of maintenance, what women get wrong is they don't actually include the children's portion of the total household expenses. So a nice example is electricity. So if you get an electricity bill of 1,000 Rand, and you are a family of 3 now, then you have to divide that by 3. So your kids also use electricity. They also use water and the Wi-Fi and the DSTV. So those are costs that you have to divide by 3 and then work out what are their expenses. If you don't do this, you're going to overpay in terms of the maintenance. And what you're doing is you are shooting yourself in the foot, because that's money that you can really apply to your budget where you invest for your own future when you have to retire.
I myself almost made that mistake, Christel, so I'm so glad you mentioned it. So we've spoken a bit about, women going through a divorce. Now let's shift a focus to women who've just recently been divorced, i.e. myself. So there's a little bit of some selfishness here in this question. How, in terms of the women that you've seen lead very successful financial lives post the divorce, and this off the back of the fact that most women have experienced shared incomes and shared expenses in the marriage, what do you see the women that are successful at creating a new financial narrative for themselves just after the divorce that you think we could actually gain from?
So if you get a good financial settlement, then you're already 10 steps ahead. So and I always say to my clients, you can take 1 Rand and I can help you to make it 2 Rand. But with 0, you can do absolutely 0. So if you get a good financial settlement, then your financial plan going forward is so much easier. And what you can do is you can make that money work for you. So that's important. And then the other thing to make your post-divorce life successful is to set goals. Because you are going to find gaps between the money that you earn, the maintenance that you receive, and those expenses that you never thought about. Like your child just qualified for the Gauteng swim team or soccer team, and now you need 4,000 Rand for the tour. And that's a big gap to fill. So I find women that have financial plans in place with goals, making a real success of their life. So for example, if you feel I need to get a promotion, then you need to start working on that. And if you, for example, feel I want to invest money so that I have an emergency fund, then you need to do that. So setting goals is very important. And people just sometimes think, oh, I've got it in my mind. But I believe write it down.
Write it down.
And then go have a look at it every year, because then you can measure it. So setting goals for yourself, get a better education, like your PhD that you're talking about, that will give you that promotion. Put those things in place, because once you do that, they actually happen. So I'm so proud of all the women that actually get that right. And you know what? It's a new lease on your life. And if you've divorced now when you're 35 or 40, you remember that you still have 20, 25 years that you can do so much. So like in your case, you've got time on your side and you've got money on your side. Whereas if you divorce at 55 or 60, you're almost running out of time to create wealth. So then it becomes important to get a good financial settlement so that you can work with that and rebuild your financial life.
Sure, a lot in there, but I think the biggest takeaway is write down your goals that will help you get to the lifestyle that you want to build, both for yourself and for your children. Is it too late, though, for the women that have been divorced for more than 10 years now? So they didn't get a financial advisor during the divorce, they didn't get a good settlement, they didn't set up a good financial plan and set goals right after the divorce. Is it too late for them to set up a narrative that builds wealth not only for themselves, but leaves a legacy for their children?
Not at all. I don't believe in that at all. So you can always start. Doesn't matter whether you got divorced 3 years ago or 10 years ago. Get a budget and get a financial advisor to help you with that. Because that budget is something that you use to build your balance sheet. And that balance sheet is something that's worth something. So you will be worth something as long as you start and you start building on it. I mean, take your side hustle. If you've now been working and your kids are now suddenly man-children like mine, then I've got more time. So I might as well just start working harder and smarter and then start building my balance sheet because I'm also running out of time. And it goes quickly. I mean, our kids were 3 and 5 and they're suddenly 20 and 18.
Thank you, Christel, for your insights. They've been so practical and so empowering at the same time, even for someone like me who's been in the industry. This conversation has been about divorce, but it's actually also about marriage, in that we hope that women who are about to get married understand the implications of the financial decisions they make now. But for the women that are going through a divorce themselves, we leave with you 3 things. Make sure that you're trying very hard to remove the emotions from the financial decisions you need to make now. Secondly, if you're struggling to develop that financial plan that you've got confidence in, please reach out to a financial advisor, and preferably someone who understands the dance and the nuance of the divorce process itself. And finally, set amazing goals for yourself that make you look forward to the future and distract yourself from ever looking back to what could have been. Christel and I, we both feel like we are better versions of ourselves now than what we were before the marriage and during the marriage. We hope that we've imparted hope towards you in your journey to meeting your better self.